Hi there, students. An imbalance. Okay, an imbalance is a situation where two or more things that should be equal or equalized are not the same. So a person could have a chemical imbalance in their brain. If you've got a chemical imbalance in your brain, you could go rather crazy. Let's see, an imbalance implies two things, but I think we normally use an imbalance for more than two things, where there are various different factors. And for example, with our body, there are many different things that need to be within a certain range. The amount of water, the amount of liquid, the amount of different salts, the amount of sugar, the amount of salt, the amount of neurotransmitter. And if there is an imbalance, an excess or a lack of one of these, then things tend to go seriously wrong. So if there is an imbalance in a situation, the things involved are not the right proportion to each other. There is in this war there is an imbalance between the two sides. One side has a lot more money and a lot more power, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win. Look at the Vietnam War, for example. Trade imbalances. So for example, the country could import lots of things from foreign countries and only export a little. That would be an imbalance of trade. So imbalance is talking about unevenness, inequality, an imbalance of power. Maybe one person has a lot, or one group of people have a lot more power than others. If you look at the European Union, there is clearly an imbalance of power. France and Germany have the strongest position, and the other countries in the European Union are much less powerful, and this shows a clear imbalance of power, that other countries are not fairly or reasonably represented. There is a growing imbalance between the rich and the poor. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. This is going to lead to more crime. Okay, so an imbalance, a chemical imbalance, some sort of mental illness, some sort of disorder, but an imbalance, a lack of balance, a lack of proportion, or maybe a lack of emphasis. In a good English course, you need to have a balance between writing, grammar, vocabulary, speaking, reading. And if there is an imbalance, then you don't have a course that covers everything. So it's an unevenness, some sort of inequality, a lack of proportion, a lack of relation between corresponding things. The political tension has been generated by an imbalance in power. So an imbalance. This imbalance is not a good thing. A chemical imbalance of the brain. You stop thinking clearly. Or maybe if there is an imbalance between supply and demand, then prices will go way up or way down. A hormonal imbalance. An imbalance between the amount of time you spend at work and the amount of time you spend in your relaxing in your private life, a structural imbalance, a trade imbalance, a power imbalance. Her depression is caused by a chemical imbalance of the brain. Okay, so imbalance, it's not balanced, it's not equal, it's out of balance, out of synchronization. Okay, the government must resolve the imbalance of spending on black and white areas of the city. Okay, so social imbalance is more of a worry than inequality of income. So imbalance, I think I'm going to give this a 6 in formality, use anywhere, but it's more on the more formal side. So imbalance.